Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I've been using the Peony suite, but I particularly wanted to show you how to build the Peony up. It's such a beautiful 3D flower, and it's quite easy once you know how to follow the dies through. So this is the one that I've done using Petal Pink, and I sponged the edges with Petal Pink ink. This is the first one I did, and up against this looks quite anemic. This is Petal Pink, but I sponged the edges with white. And a third one, slightly different design of card, is this one, where I've used Cherry Cobbler and I have sponged the edges with white again. So what I'm going to do today is use a nice bright colour here, but I'm going to use the tone on tone ink for it. Inside the card, I've forgotten to do this one because that's the one I was doing this morning, but I'm going to be doing this, but it will look more like this one because I'm going to do the silver on the inside and then stamp and then colour it. That I thought it looked a bit stark as you went from there to there, although there is white in here, but I do think it might have looked better if I'd put the grey granite on top like I did with this one. But this is the design I'm going to be doing. So let me tell you first of all the card pieces you're going to be needing. This is our new Magenta Madness, and I'm using Smokey Slate as well. The designer series paper, like all of those, is from Peony Garden. So to start off with, you need, quickly checking that I've got all my pieces here. Now I'm only going to give you the sizes in A4 inches, but in the box below I will put metric and also US inches as well. So the card base needs to be 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches. Then you need 2 pieces of Magenta Madness, which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. 1 piece of Smoky Slate, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. 1 piece of Peony Garden designer series paper, which measures 2 3/4 inches by 5 3/8, and another piece of Smoky Slate, which measures 2 inches by 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. You will also need scraps of Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, Daffodil Delight, and also Magenta Madness. What I did before I decided that I was going to use tone on tone here, I got myself 2 pieces of Magenta Madness, and on that I sponged the edging with white, and on that one I sponged the edging with the Magenta Madness ink, and I like this one better. But I thought I'd show you that just so that you know, if you prefer that one, it saves you wasting your time doing tone on tone. So what I'm going to do first is, that's a bit of die cutting. That's just all adhering together. This is, so yes, all this is die cutting then. So if I just move my cards out of the way. Now these 2 pieces, my scraps, or 3 pieces, these are just what I've cut off of sheets, and it's times like this that they come in really handy because we can use them. Now these are the dies, 17 of them in all, and this is what they die cut. And we are going to do the 4 that have got the lines cut in the middle, so that's what builds up to the flowers. We're going to use that leaf, and we're going to use those 2 which layer on top of them, and we're going to use that one as well. Oh, and this little one here, that's the Daffodil Delight. So that means that one has a cut in it, that has a cut, that has a cut, and that has a cut. So they're the 4 pieces that actually make up our flower. That's upside down. That's going to be for the Daffodil Delight. 1 leaf, 2 leaves rather, 1 topping, and this one here. Okay, we do have other ones here. This goes together like these two do, but it's smaller, which I'm not using. And these die cut straightforward leaves, no extra bits going on top or anything. So if I just pop that there, as I've used them, then I can lay them straight back down onto my sheet. And I'm going to do the green ones first. Let's just move these all over here. Pull my big shot over. There we go. I've already prepared my leaves, but I will show you how I do it. Right, oh no, we don't want that one, do we? Okay, so that's a little edging. Okay, so that's all the size that you need for your die cuts. Don't need to cut into big pieces. And then that's the other one. And I will show you how to recognise which one goes with which. Really very easy. Come on, stop messing me about. Now bear in mind those other 3 cards, I made them all without these false nails on, which was a lot easier. Right, so now we do the 2 dark green ones, which I'm holding one of. There's that one. That one. And then we will have, if I can get this on, let's push that through. There we go. And then this one just needs a little bit. Okay, so that's all of those pieces. I think this is probably one of the best flower dies that Stampin' Up have ever come up with. It really is beautiful. Right, so first of all, let me just get my, take your pick. Because my cutting mat is so got all these cuts in it, sometimes my die cuts get stuck on here and I need to lever them off. There's that one. There's 1 leaf. There's another one. Okay, so those are a bit close, as you could see. Let's put those over there. That little bit lives to fight another day. There we go. Is that one? When you're handling these pieces, handle them by the long piece rather than that little piece there. First one I handled, I touched the little one and it just folded it, put a crease in it. Not the end of the world, but it didn't look quite so nice. So there's that and that. Push that one over there. Now we need our flowers. Let's put that one that way. I've got one little scrap here, so I want to see what I can get on here. Oh, that's good. And then these. That's great. Now you'll see once these come through that they'll have a cut mark going through them. There we go. That one there, and that one's got one there. So that's one piece. That's two pieces. There's another one. And that's the third one. Fourth one. Those, so that lives to fight another day. Now the other piece that we need is this one here, which is our 2 inches by 4 3/4, and this one here. If you try and position that so it's halfway between, then this will fit on that way. You can't afford to have it sticking out, otherwise it will scrunch up your machine. And then find out where it wants to settle, and what I do is I make sure that I've got the same sort of part of a scallop as I have this end, and I normally find that this will move along quite easily so that they are the same. I think that's probably it. Okay, and I just take it as close to the end as I can. I'm not too fussy about it because sometimes these dies do jump around. Mine certainly do. Oh, and I know what else I was going to say to you. When you run this one through, in fact I haven't bought myself a spare bit of paper, it's got a really nice embossed part to it. So I tend to put an extra little bit of paper on top of the actual die, like a shim, so it gives it that extra bit of pressure to make the embossed bit look more embossed. There we go. Just only cut that little tiny bit off. Let you see the pattern on there. Looks nice, isn't it? A nice little touch. So that's all my dies gone back over there. We can get rid of our big shot. Right, so we're going to work with these ones first, which is our actual flower. What Stampin' Up have done, keep putting that upside down, they have done the bottoms here so they all match up. Now I do my sponging beforehand because it's just so much easier, but before I do, I try and give them a little bit of a curl. It's not easy because these are cut right the way through, but what I do is I just get myself a pencil. I have the wrong side facing me, and I just make sure I'm holding on to the cut line there and just very carefully bend it. The more times you go like this, the easier it is to do, and you can do it without actually creating crease marks in the cardstock. Okay, now this bit is the tricky bit. It is just so thin, so be very, very careful on that bit. The upper bit above the cut is okay, but it's just that little bit around there. Okay, and again, wrong side towards you, hold on to the cut piece and just very gently give it a little bit of a curl. you won't be able to get much in there without actually creasing your cardstock. But I don't like the look of creases. Now that's getting a crease in it, but I'm not worried about that because that's going to be hidden. Now this is the top bit, this bit here. So again, if I crease this bit, not the end of the world, but it will help the top bit to curl over a bit. Okay, so very, very gently by the cuts. And then this one, hold on to the cut piece. It's better to finish up with not much of a curl than a torn die cut. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to use my dauber. I'm sure oh yes, that's right. I know that got a new one out, but obviously I've used it now because I tested it. So what I do with this is I remind myself which way up these are, because this one I'm always putting upside down. So I know that I want to sponge the top bits. And what I do is, because there are little areas where I can't get my dauber in there, I just lay it down and do it manually on that bit. I mean, if you wanted to do a bigger area, again, you could just lay it down. But also I want some below that cut line, because that's going to be exposed. That's going to go downwards a little bit at the front. So again, I just run my dauber over it, bearing in mind that the back bit will get hidden, so you can decide how much comes below the line for how much darkness you want to be visible. Okay, so I think that's probably about the amount that I want to see. And this one. It's well worth investing in these little daubers. I can't think of the top of my head how much they are, but they come in a pack of 5. There we go, there's another bit there that hasn't got any colour because I can't get in there. Okay, and now I want to get down this bit here, which is the very, very thin bit, but that will be the exposed bit. On the cards I showed you, did you notice a little like dewdrops, little raindrops on the flower and the leaves? I'll show you where they came from. There's that one. Now this is the top. Again, can't get into that little bit there. And now I want it over my cut line. Okay, really isn't very precise at all. And you would do this the same if you were using the white ink. So there's quite a lot there that I can't get into. Okay, and then I'm just going to do along that cut line as well. Now so far I have found these very easy to put together, with the exception of the last one, which I have found to be a little bit, it's not difficult, but it's not as easy as the rest of them, shall we say. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have ready my glue dots. And I got 2 of these now, look, so I never have to change them again. Right, so I'm going to get myself a glue dot ready, and I'm going to take the biggest one and the second to biggest one, and you can see how they're going to line up there. Okay, if I do it like that, you can see that they follow each other, but it's got to line up from the back. So you open that one up, slide this down. I find it easier to turn it over and then to line them up like that. And then before I put my glue dot in, I always turn it over to make sure it's still correct on the front there, and then holding it really tight this way. So I've got the right side facing me, and I just lift this bit up and put a glue dot underneath. Okay, so that will hold that one in place. Now I'm going to take the third to largest, or second to smallest, whichever, and that's got to go in between this line. You see, that's why you mustn't put your glue dot below the cut line, otherwise you'd close this up. So this one goes in, turn it over, line it up again, if you need a bit of help, go from the front. That's it. Okay, now turn it over to make sure it still looks alright from the front. Now that looks as if it could do with going back a bit. That's better. Okay, you come down a little bit. That's better. Keep checking and keep checking and keep checking. Where's that bit come from? Okay. There we go, that's all okay. Can't see anything that I shouldn't be seeing. So lay it down face up. Oh, I didn't get my glue dot ready this time, did I? Okay. So I'm going to lift up this bit and put a glue dot underneath it. But I'm staying above that cut line, okay, above being this side. Now this is the one that sometimes I find a little bit troublesome. So I'm going to lift all 3 layers up to open up that bit, and then I am going to slide this in. There we go. Not playing me up this time, that's good. I'll pull this one down. Now, as you can see, the glue dots will only keep them in place to a certain extent, but at least it won't let them fall out, and they're still very, very manageable. Now that, I think, needs, what does it need? Come down a bit on that side. go. Just keep looking at the back. You can see what's right, what's not right. There we go, so they line up beautifully. Check it from the front. Yes, I'm still happy with that. So lay it down from the front, fold it down, and I've done it again, haven't I? Another glue dot. Now you really do not have much room to put this. In fact, I'm going to roll that one. Determined not to let it move. There we go. So that's my flower. What you can do at this stage is, if you want to put some glue in there, you can lift up that big back one. That's going to start oozing out, but it doesn't matter because it's all going to be glued down onto my card. But at least it will hold it into place. Okay, so you can see how it's all lined up. If anything, mine are slightly short, but that's fine because it does mean that it's not going to show coming out from the bottom there. Now the only other thing I thought about this was there's quite a lot of light area there. So what I did with the cherry cobbler one, oops, come back. I didn't put any more ink on this, and I just rubbed it to make sure that it was really quite light. And then without going rough, I just went over the, what should we call it, uninked pieces. And it just tones it down very, very slightly. Oh, be careful, otherwise you're going to stick on that. Okay. It just helps the colours to blend in with each other, I think. But I certainly wouldn't re-ink at this stage. So there we go. Shall I bring that up close for you? First of all, I'll show you the back. As I say, I'm not worried about that glue oozing out because all this is going to be glued down on my card anyway. Okay, so that's what the back looks like. And that's what the front looks like. Isn't it gorgeous? I think it's absolutely stunning. I love it. So what I'm going to do now is, with my tweezers, this little yellow one fits in that last broken line there. So I just fit it in between, like that valley bit. There we go. And I'm not sure that I've ever actually seen the yellow inside of a peony. We used to have dark ones at home, somewhere between, well, this colour and the cherry cobbler. Now I want to adhere that down as well. So I'm going to use another glue dot. These fingernails haven't been too bad until now. Oops, and I'm losing my stamens. There we go. Okay. So I'm pleased with that. I hope you like it too. Now to put our leaves together. What did I do with all our other die cuts? Oh, here they are. So that's the right side facing up, and that's the right side. Now there is, there are two ways that you can use these leaves. First of all, to decide which of these goes on which, if you put the thin bit pointing down towards the bottom, on this one you will see that's very bendy, so that's that one that goes with it. On this one, this is very smooth, so this one goes on there. Once you've put these together like these, which I've done ahead of time, you can either use them like that or you can use them like that. Oops. Now I've checked this in the catalogue because on the cards with the poppies, did I bring that card over with me? No, I didn't. Stampin' Up have used these. That way round, so that it finished off like that. Okay, so you only had part of the green, light green, and the rest of it was down here hidden. But with the peonies, they've got it so that you can see all the green. So there obviously isn't a right or wrong way to do it. Just do it the way that you like best. That felt like a new one because that came out really quickly. And that's the last thing I need on something so narrow as this. Right, that's the bumpy side. Okay, so there's that one. Oops. There we go. Okay, so either way, your choice totally. I personally prefer to have them so that they're like that. Otherwise I don't really see the point of doing this bit. I don't know how you feel about that. So there's that one. We need to do a bit of stamping and then we can put everything together. So we need stamping on that, and inside the card it's going to be like this, so that needs stamping on. As I've said to you previously, I am using my Stamperators so much, and this is another example. I've got them, both my stamps set up here, stamp sets first before I go on. This is a prized peony, and this is the little image that I'm going to be putting inside my card. And Peaceful Moments, which comes from the poppy, goes with the Poppy Moments dies, which includes the leaves that I was telling you about. And I'm using the Happy Birthday. This stamp, I have had to cut it down quite a bit. You can see how I've trimmed that, because I was getting the extra ink around the edges. Right, so, oh, that got retracted because it was magnet. Well, that's on there just because that's dirty. No, we want this one, don't we? I'm just going to put that there. And I am going to use, what did I use? Yes, I used Smoky Slate. I could use black, but no, I'm going to use Smoky Slate. The thing is, if you're using your Stamperators, it does mean that you can stamp more than once. In fact, let me just clear myself a space here. Get my book out of the way. There we go. Okay, so the first one you'll find comes up really quite light. And I can do it again. And again. I think I normally do this 4 times. And as you can see, I'm not pressing particularly hard. And this will dry a lot lighter than it's showing up here. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to use black for my flower, that's right. So that one's done. Let's bring my flower in. And this one, I must have done it like this. Let's move that out of the way. Straight into the corner. That one there. Memento ink. You may not like colouring on coloured cardstock, in which case obviously put a white layer on the top. But it definitely does take more inking, more stamping. So you really do need your stamperators for this. And I could have put both of these stamps onto one plate, but I have more than 2 plates, so, or at least more than 1 plate, so I tend to go for it. Use one each. It saves me having to clean that one before I use the second one on the side. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just that during videos it does save a bit of time. You see, this is coming up quite nice. That's probably enough actually. There we go. That goes there. Put that on one side. This I put in here because the die is dirty. And this one I will take off. Leave it like that. Put it to the side and tidy up afterwards. Now I'm going to colour these using my stamping blends. So I've got Magenta Madness, and I'm going to get Granny Apple Green as well, although I don't think I did any shading. I'm going to do the dark Granny Apple Green. And when you're using blends on our coloured cardstock, don't go too close to the edge, because this really does soak up the ink. I try and stay just within the lines. There we go. I don't know if any of the others are meant to be leaves or not, but I leave them. So this one I am going to come with the light, and I tend to do the outsides first. Again, without going too close to the edge. If you want to colour yours using our Stampin' Right markers, just make sure you stamp the image with black stays on ink. Well, any colour stays on ink, whatever colour you choose, but you need stays on. It's worth taking your time to make sure you don't go over the edges on this one. When you're painting, you'll feel how absorbent this is. Where you see I'm going to the point, and I just go a couple of times is because I'm going so light-handed with my blend. Okay, so I just go over it. You could leave doing light and dark on here because of all the shading. In fact, let me go back and have a look. I think I might have left it on here. Yes, I did. My painting was a bit blotchy on there. So, I don't know if you can do. Oh yeah, can do a bit. So if you like doing the shading on your colouring, it will take it. I'm not really taking enough time over that. But there we go. I'm going to let the black bits do the rest of the work for me. So I think that is everything now, isn't it? Let's just put our card together. This is going to go on the inside. Let's try the Tombow that's running out. If it plays me up, then I will go over to the new one. Use my tweezers. When I first saw this Magenta Madness, I really didn't like the colour. But it was a bit like Lemon Lime Twist. I didn't like that one either. That was the greeny yellow colour. But I really like this one now. There we go. I always check my card before I decide which is the front and which is the back, because sometimes my fold, like this one, the front comes out a bit further. It's an absolute tad of an inch, tad of an eighth of an inch, whatever. But it goes to the back, and I just feel that it makes the card open up easier because it's a different size. I love this design, really love this. Right, I'm going to adhere this to my front piece. The other grey that this goes with is this one here, which is granite grey, grey granite, whatever. But I'm not so keen on it because to me it makes me think of thunder and overcast. Anybody else feel the same? Just pull this over a little bit, if I can. Yes. Now this bit. That's it. A little bit too much then. No, you probably won't be able to get it back. Or maybe you can. Okay, yep, that's good. Now what do I do next? I think I put this one on next, in the centre. Just line my card up down the bottom here, so that's centre. If you want, you can do this on dimensionals, apart from the, in fact, none of it Getting a bit of a panic there. None of it do I use dimensionals on this card. Okay, so get that back in the middle again. That's it. Oops. That's for that side, that's good. I'm just lining this up at the bottom of my grid, the bit that you can't see. That's alright. Okay. So when you decide you're ready to put your leaves on, now I used 3, and did I? Yes, I did. With these, I did one card with the leaves what I consider to be up the right way and one with them upside down. I thought if I did that I could show you so that you can decide which way you prefer yours to go. Again, it saves you wasting anything. Alright, so I think on this one I'm going to put them upside down, which is that way. And when you're doing this, it is much better to put your flower on here to arrange your leaves so that you don't come off on the sides there. But I think what I'll do first, I'll adhere this on my card. It's not like I'm putting ribbon around it or anything. There we go. There we go. Right. Which side did I put 2? Right, I got 2 leaves on this side. Oh, I know what I've forgotten. I've also put one of these on. These are our little vellum doilies. There we go. Now, another idea I had about these is sponging the outsides to make it show up a bit. I did it on white on the cherry cobbler, but it didn't show up at all. But I thought I'd do it on this one, and this time I'm going to use the pink. Okay, which it should show up nicely because it's going on top of the grey, so which is the right side. And before you use these, do just check that you haven't got any bits still left in there, like that one there. Okay. I'm just going very gently on here, and I'm only going to go on the outside because most of the inside gets covered up. If I don't like this idea, I'll swap it over and use one of the clear ones. But again, it's one of those things, if I try it and you can see it being tried, if you don't like it, then you don't waste one. Okay, let me get that other piece of paper because that's clean. Oh look, that's a good idea. That's another thought, isn't it? There we go. Isn't that lovely? So does it show up? Do we need to do it a bit darker? Oh no, that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that, and I am going to put glue. No, I'll carry on using the old one. So there's a circle there, So I'm going to go round and a circle there. So that's 4 circles around the outside, and there's one in the middle. The thing is, with using glue with vellum, it does show through. And if these doilies were a bit smaller, I would do that to it. Do it as a diamond. But they're not, so I won't. So I'm just going to put that so that I've got about the same amount of gap from here to my writing. And I'm just making sure that I've got the same sort of gap here and here. Okay, so it's not going to be adhered down there at all. So then that can go on there. And then do my leaves. And I said upside down, didn't I, for these? So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the bottom. That's where the first one's going to go. Just give it a squeeze. Okay, so that'll be coming there. I don't remember if that was a curved one or a... Is there any difference between the... Oh yes, that was a curved one. You can tell by the shape there, that's quite smooth, whereas this one's quite dramatic. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Wanted to do it on the other side. Again, doesn't matter because that'll be glued to stick it down onto my card. Now I'm going to put this one here. That'll be there. Okay, it needs to go in a bit, otherwise it comes off my card. Yep, that's okay. Happy with that. Do you see what I mean about, I think that by using them this way, you miss so much of this off your leaves. Right, so one, that's going to go about there. Obviously you could pop this up on dimensionals if you wanted. That one's going to be coming through that gap there, and it comes up quite a way. So let's put a little bit of glue there. Just give it a couple of minutes for, well, no, sorry, a few seconds so that it can get adhered. There we go. What do you think of that? Isn't that a beautiful colour? So what I'm going to do to adhere this down on my leaves and on here, I'm going to put a bit on there as well. Pop it in the centre. I should have bought myself a punch over with me so that I could lay that on top there to keep it flattened. Before I do my little raindrops on there, I did say that I would try and tie a bow on one of my videos. Let's pop it underneath there. Recently I've been sharing some cards on my blog where the bow has looked quite nice, really nice, and I've been asked how I do them. Nothing special about it at all, but let me show you. This is our new ribbon, which is called 2020 and 2022 in colour ribbon. Doesn't actually say what it is. Okay, it's 100% polyester. Now how much do I need? Let me give myself 8 inches. So I do a bunny ears bow, so put those two flat against each other. This is the secret of a nice bow, keeping your layers flat, and then bring this one up and make another loop. Okay, so you've got two bunny ears. Let me leave that a bit further apart. Okay, so you've got a loop down there. That is one continuous bit, and it has not crossed over anywhere. So now you're going to cross it over like that. So you've got an ear and an ear and a face. And then again, without letting anything cross over, I mean, this is still flat, okay? I'm not letting it twist. Just folded it, and I'm going to bring it through here. Now what's going to happen is the tail on my left hand side, it's going to ping up and over like that, and then I pull it. Turn it over, keep my fingers flat there, pull that one, take over that side, keep it flat, always keeping it flat, and then pull it tight. Now that's too big for me, so I'm holding the knot, pull that, and that's moving from the back. I'm going to hold the knot, pull this, and it's going to be moving from the front. Okay, pull that a bit more. Another secret of good bows is making sure you have enough ribbon to play with. Okay, so I'm just judging this to make sure they're the same size, which they are. I'm going to bring that back. I will cut it afterwards, and I am going to, and the other one I put there, didn't I? I'm going to put it here actually, I like it there. So the way that I do this is I use a glue dot. As you see, I haven't cut my tails off yet. You decide which side you like the best. That side looks tidiest. So let's put the glue dot there. And then I finish, oops, this one. And then I put some Tombow on this. Now this bit you really do need to put a punch of some sort on it to hold it. Okay. I'll sit here with my finger for a moment, and I can tell you where the raindrops have come from. And that's from here. These are elegant faceted gems, and they come in clear, which is the ones I've used. They come in like a flesh tone, which goes brilliantly with the petal pink, and also they come as like a milky colour. So I'm going to cut that at a slight angle, and then try and cut a slight angle that side that matches. Okay, so there we go, that's how I do my bows, and then I just puff them up a bit. Okay, so that's that. Let me just put some raindrops on. I can see me going through lots of these. I tend to use two big ones and a small one. And I want to put one on the A leaf, so that can come over this side. Okay, so there we go, that's today's project. What do you think? Isn't it beautiful? The flower is just absolutely amazing. I could have put that in a bit straighter, but that doesn't matter. And also I like the hint of pink here. So there was that one, that one, that one, and all these designs. And there was that one, which was a different design, which I'm not totally happy with, much rather this. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. As I say, all the measurements will be in the box below. That's the English inches, the A4 inches, because that's more or less everywhere, centimetres, metric, and also the US inches as well. In the box below you'll also find a where you can place your comments, and I always like to read your feedback, and also if you've got any questions I'm always very happy to help. If you've enjoyed my video and like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the bottom right hand corner, and also click the bell so that you do get the notifications. Finally, just as a reminder that tomorrow will be the last day to apply for my class in the mail, which is available to people who live in UK, Netherlands, France, Austria and Germany. That's Stampin' Up rules, I'm afraid, but I am offering the PDFs and the video links to anybody anywhere in the world. So just email me at janb@janbcards.com if you'd like to know the details. Many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time, and in the meantime please take care and stay safe. Until next time, cheerio.